Welcome to the Elevated Chat Room. It's Dwayne Malone. Today we are super excited about our special guest that we have, and we're not going to prolong the time. So I'll go ahead and introduce your host, the motivator, the entrepreneur, the husband, the father, the youth advocate, everything you can think of, Mr. Lonzo Jones.
What's good? What's good? Welcome to another episode. That boy just gave me a dope intro. That's like the finest intro you done gave me, bro.
Let's go.
Man, I feel special. Well, we got special guests with us tonight. But before I introduce them, I want to introduce the topic. The topic for tonight is Garage of Hope, transforming lives one car at a time. We got the founders here with us. We got Mr. He's also a pastor, Todd Wilson. He's a pastor and he's a co-founder of this nonprofit. And we also have Amelia Wilson. She's also one of the co-founders. And she also runs TNA Automotive. They are the owners of that as well. I'm not going to prolong the time. I'm going to let them kind of introduce themselves to you guys, get a little bit more acquainted, build some rapport, and then we'll dive deep into the night session. You guys go ahead and take over.
I'm Amelia. Like you said, I'm the co-founder of Lifted Spirits Garage. We are a nonprofit. So what we do is we do repairs for people that are in need of repair. And we also give away cars to people that need cars.
Okay, we're going to talk about that more.
Yeah,
We're going to definitely talk about that more. All right, Todd, tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been in ministry now almost 9 years total. Started out in youth ministry, went into last year as a pastor of a local church here in Florence, and God's really put on my heart through that to kind of reach out to the community, and we've been talking about several different options. But outside of the church, I'm a banker. I'm a dad of 4 kids. Amelia forgot to mention that. We got 4 running around, so our time is full. We don't have a lot of free time, but we're motivated to give back to the community. We love on people as much as we can, and that's kind of where we're here, is just to spread God's love to everybody around us. That's what we want everybody to know about.
Oh, that's awesome. That's all, and you can sense that with you guys. Like, I've been knowing you guys for a few years now, and it's always been pleasant. So we just thank you guys for coming on this episode, and thank you for what you guys are doing in the community as well.
Yep.
I know sometimes, we don't feel like we're really making that impact, but people see you. People see you guys, and like I said, we just appreciate it. And so my first question for you will be, what inspired you guys to start Lifted Spirits Garage? How did it come about?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So, we bought TNA Automotive in January of 23. And in that, we've been very blessed. God's blessed us and everything. And so we wanted to find a way in the ministry, I guess, the business that God gave us to operate. How do we give back? How do we impact the community? How do we spread God's love through this? And man, we just prayed about this for so long and just looked for opportunities. And, through that, God started opening doors. And he started showing us people. People would show up and have these horrible situations and they would need help. And so we would help them, whether it was doing a free repair. Then we started seeing opportunities to give people cars. We had customers who would come in and they would choose not to get the car fixed. And so we would talk to them about, hey, we're trying to do some things here. Is there an option for us to try to buy this? And if you did sell it to us, we'll give it away to somebody. That's kind of the goal. And so we did that once and it worked really well. It really helped the person out. Last year, we gave away 6.
Okay.
Year to date, we've already given away 6.
Awesome.
And we've got a goal of giving away 10 more at Christmas.
Awesome.
And so we can talk more about that in a little bit and how that's going to work. But that's kind of how it got started. We were just looking for an opportunity. Like, God's gifted us with this business. What can we do with it?
Yeah.
What kind of impact can we make? How do we share God's love through this business? How do we turn this into a ministry more than a business? And that's really what it's turned into.
Oh, that's awesome. We was driving somewhere one day, and my oldest boy, Aiden, he was like, "Dad, why is that person walking?" I was like, "Well, son, everybody don't have cars," and like, him being 8 at the time, don't understand that.
Yep.
So you guys, like, everybody don't have access to vehicles, even though we think it's 2024. That people got, we think that people got, the basics, but a lot of people don't even have the basics. So what you guys are doing is meeting a huge, huge need. Because not only are you blessing somebody with a vehicle, you're blessing them with an avenue to go make money.
That's it.
So now they have a car. Now they can get a job. Now they can get back and forth to work. now things start to really shape up. You know, it starts to look up in their lives. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. You got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think that's where the whole Lifted Spirits started, especially being at the shop every single day. I come in contact with so many people that cannot afford to do their repairs. And, you know, it's heartbreaking, and it's hard not to want to help every single person that comes in and has a situation where they can't repair their car, or, you know, and just like what he was saying, it's people are generous too. If they don't want to repair their car, they're like, it's not worth it. We've had a few people, that's how it really started. We had a few people that are like, I just don't want to fix my car. And we had the very first car we ever gave away. We told the guy, we said, hey, we know somebody that we would like to fix this car and give to. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to give the car to you. If you're doing that, I'm going to give the car to you. And that really is how it started for us. We were like, you know what? This might could turn into something. You know, like God might be working this out for us.
That is pretty dope.
You know?
Now, listen,
So it really
I have to
started
call
from
her out
that.
every now and then, though, because every time my phone rings during the day, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're giving away something else.
Listen, I cannot.
You know, like she's calling me because somebody else needs help, which is a good thing. It really is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, at some point we have to make a little money to keep our business open. You
So
know?
how do you guys determine who, not even talking about giving the car away, how do you guys determine if somebody is truly in need of getting their car fixed? Like, how do you if you want to do it for free, how do you determine that?
So it's a little more formal now than it was to start with. It was, hey, we know this person, or someone we know knows this person. Now we've got an application they'll fill out. And so I've actually passed that along to a couple of different community organizations as well, Community Action and some of those. And so they're looking for opportunities too. And so that's been a little change, because before it was just our call.
Yeah.
Obviously now we're a nonprofit. We got the board that has to have say in that. So we have to get them to review the applications. And so it's a little more complicated now than it was before, but still it's the same process.
Yeah.
Our board, they're all Christians. They're all believers. They all want the same things that we want. And so that makes it easy,
Yeah.
you know, dealing with people that have the same goals in the ministry we've got.
And how many people in a month's time would need help getting their car fixed?
Well, so we've seen anywhere from 3 to 4 needing actual repairs done to 1.
Okay.
You know, and that's what we're trying to get the word out right now, because we just started the nonprofit. We've done this ministry now for over a year, but we just set up the nonprofit this year.
Okay.
And so we're trying to get the word out about the nonprofit, because what we've seen now is, you know, we're a 501c3, so they can get an actual tax credit for donating cars, donating money to us. And so that's been a little different there. Because we didn't have that before.
Yeah.
It was just us operating, us footing the bill to have everything fixed. And so we're trying to get the word out about the nonprofit so that we can, I guess, have the community help. Because that's one of the things we heard through this is, hey, how can we help you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we've done this to try to give people an avenue to do that.
So what is like an average repair cost?
So most of the cars we see are probably motors and transmissions.
Okay.
And-
so that's going to be pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it can cost anywhere, on top of the cost of the car, if we have to buy it, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000
Okay.
to fix the car.
2 to 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I already know, like, when my car is not running, how I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Man. You know, it just sucks something out of you as a grown man. It's like, bro, like my car in the shop, like me and my wife got to share a car and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I know what it feels like not to have a car, you know. So plus growing up, once I got to college, my car would break down, all this kind of stuff. So I've been there.
And we talk about that all the time. I mean, we see people on a bad day. I mean, nobody likes it when their car's messed
Right,
up.
right.
And so we talk about that with the girls in the shop at the front counter too. Is like, look, you got to give people some grace, because you're seeing them on one of their worst days they're going to have this week.
That's
Yeah.
good.
That's good stuff.
I will say too that we appreciate them too as well, because they have done a lot for the Rescue Project and donating and being a part and coming to events and doing a lot of things too. So like, they're really what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
telling
saw
you.
y'all at the
Yes.
at the Christmas party like 2 years ago, and I was like, I know them from
Hold on, y'all
somewhere.
was
And
here
it's
last
not
year,
Yeah, we're
right?
here
Oh,
last
yeah,
year too.
we were there.
Yeah. And I was looking at him. I was like, I know that he's talking to me. And then it dawned on me. I was like, that was Xavier, man.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a small world, and you never know, like, when you're out in the public and you're being yourself and you don't know, like, who's connected to who.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, gotta be on your P's and Q's at all times.
Definitely.
But like I said though, it's like, but you still have to be yourself because God has given us different personalities to affect different people in different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely are, man. And we appreciate you guys
Absolutely.
in
Thank you.
many ways, you know.
Those are amazing.
So we talked about giving, fixing somebody's car, repairing somebody's car for free. Explain the process of giving the cars away for free. I want to know about that. How does that work? How do you select it, and how does that work?
So, what we have done in the past, as far as giving the cars away, we kind of have we've done a couple of different things. We've done a contest.
Okay.
So the big giveaways that we've done, we did a contest at Christmas, and we've done a contest just recently for high school seniors. And so at Christmas time, we did and both the contests were basically the same. People wrote in a nomination letter,
Okay.
and so they could nominate people to win a car, and they
Yeah.
basically just nominated and told why that person deserved to win the car. And so that's basically how, they nominated the person, and then our board took the letters
Okay.
and read them and decided, they narrowed it down and decided who would win.
Okay, so when they narrow it down, is it like a majority vote, or is it how does that work?
Yeah. So what we did last Christmas was the biggest one we've done. We had 80 nominations come in. And so we assembled a panel of 5 people to review those applications or nominations. And they each brought back the top 1 or 2 out of their stack. And then they put them all together, and they all reviewed those top 10, 12. And from those, they gave us the top 5.
Sweet.
And then from there, we got back together again and started getting a lot more granular. This person has a car, they just need their car fixed. This person doesn't have a car. And so we were able, in addition to giving out 3 cars, we actually fixed some people's car at Christmas as well. So,
Wow.
just trying to help out where we can, and not trying to read too much into their situation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if someone doesn't have a car, someone has one that's broken, we can fix it. We can help more people,
Yeah.
I guess,
Man, that's pretty awesome, man. Like I said, I don't think there's another nonprofit that I'm aware of.
No.
I know locally that's even coming close to doing what you guys are doing. That is unique. It's a major blessing, man.
Well, I've got a heart for homeless people.
Okay.
And that's where this kind of, for me, started. I think I talked to Dwayne about it at one point. We were trying to find a way to help, trying to find a place where we could go and start a homeless shelter, rehab center, something like that, similar to what Dewan started. And we wanted to do it more on the Florence side, where there was more traffic over there. But through that, we ran into some roadblocks. Nobody's fault. We just couldn't make it happen. And that's when I started taking a step back and looking, okay, here's what God's given us.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's got a roadblock here where I'm not able to meet this need, then he's got something else for me to do.
Yeah.
So what has he given me that I can take and use? And that's when we started looking at the shop and how can we take what God's given us and use that for his glory, but to help people at the same time.
Man, it don't get no better than that.
Yeah.
He's already equipped you with the tools.
Exactly.
Now it's just figuring out how do I use what he's already given me to give back.
That's right.
That's awesome. Man, I don't think people like understand the magnitude though, because like I said, I know what it's like to have my car in the shop. I know what it's like. I'm fortunate now in my position. I'm older to where I'm able to afford to get my car fixed. But at times when I go in there and the guy's talking saying it's $1,200, I still don't want to pay that.
Right.
It's like $1,200 for the radiator.
Nobody does.
I know.
So it's like, so I'm like, imagine if I'm a college student or a high school student or somebody that's just struggling
Yep.
and somebody blesses me to get my car fixed. That shows them love, but love is God. So you're showing them God in everything that you do by showing them love. So that gives you an avenue, to kind of, introduce them into, the kingdom of God.
Exactly. Well, that's the whole point. I mean, you take people that are just at the bottom and they're trying to dig their way out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes all they need is that one extra helping step just to get some, like what you said, it helps them get to the place they can go earn money. It helps them get to school, whatever it is they're trying to do. Sometimes people just need that one little help, one little step to get them in the right direction. And if that's a car or getting their car fixed, man, we love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I heard this quote that this guy was saying. He was like, when you hit rock bottom, remember that Christ is the rock that's at the bottom.
Exactly.
Oh,
Sweet.
yeah, that's
That's
good.
good.
So it's like no matter how tough life gets, I mean, I didn't hit rock bottom. Okay, well, God is the rock at the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah,
Christ is that rock at the bottom.
that is so good.
So yeah, it was when I heard it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to use that. You know, I'm gonna have to steal that one. But that's awesome. Appreciate what you guys are doing. Can y'all share a memorable story of someone who received a car? Like, tell us a story that really just stands out when someone received a car from you guys.
Gosh.
There's so many. I'm gonna let Amelia tell, and I may tell one.
Okay,
too.
that's cool. Hey, hit them with it. They want to know. The people want to know.
Well, like there is so many, and we have given cars to individuals that were not in the contest, but I would say that probably my most memorable was the high school giveaway that we just did.
Yeah.
We gave 3 cars away to high school seniors, and it was just the best day. We did it all in one day, and those 2 of the seniors did not have any idea that there was even a contest, and so they did not know at all.
That's awesome.
And there was one senior in particular, well, really 2 in particular. They didn't know, and so we went to their high school, his high school, and it was their senior day. What was it? Honor day?
Yeah.
Honor day.
Yeah.
And so their school had us come, and the school was so excited. You know, his guidance counselor had wrote a letter, and they were just so excited when we called them and told them, you know, like, you've won,
Wow.
and or he won, you know. And so they said, can you come to the school and give him the car? And so we were like, yes, we'd love to. And so after the honor day, they said, well, we've got one more special thing to do. And
You feel them chills, though. I feel it. Go ahead.
And so they had like the resource officer get up and like read the letter, or, you know, that she had wrote. And of course, everybody in the crowd was like, is it so-and-so? You know, I think it's so-and-so.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, he knew
Mhm.
because it was like talking about like things
Yes,
that he had
yeah.
been through. And so he got done and he said, you know, and this letter is, you know, so-and-so. And he like jumped straight up in the air. And, you know, he came up on stage and like Todd handed him the keys and he just like threw his hand like up in the air. I'm going to cry talking about it.
I
but,
mean,
like,
it's
Oh
it's a
my
dope
God.
story.
and, you know, he just walked straight over to the resource officer, threw his arms around him, threw his arms around the principal. And, you know, he was so excited. And then when he got outside to come see the car,
Yeah.
he walked straight up to me and Todd and almost knocked us down, hugging us.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was telling him, I said, I know this is so overwhelming for you, you know, and did you have any idea? He was like, no, you know, you could tell he was so overwhelmed. And I was like, you know, I'm really sorry, but can you talk to the fix? You know, like, I hate to say this, can you talk to the radio station real quick? But he was so overwhelmed, and just the amount of people and adults that were coming up and parents that were coming up to him and just hugging him so tight and crying and telling him how much he deserved it and what a good kid he was. You know, it just, I don't know. You know, I didn't know this kid from anybody, but you could tell just how much he deserved it. And, you know, it's just really special.
This kid had
good.
worked 2 jobs trying to earn money for a car. His family hit hard times. He gave all the
And he
money he
gave
had saved
it.
up to his family.
Twice.
I mean, you know,
Twice. Yeah.
So that's the kind of people we're looking
Wow, now I
for to
got
help
you
out.
right
you know?
there for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so sometimes it's just so unfair for the kids to have to grow up
Mhm.
before their time
Yeah.
due to various situations, various circumstances, whether it's bad decisions or just life just hitting. So yeah.
So my most memorable is going to be the very first one that we gave away. It was a Jeep Liberty, I think is what it was we gave away.
Yeah.
But we had received this person's information. They were in an abusive relationship out of this area, and the parents had went to get her and bring her home because her significant other, I guess, had basically locked her in the house, wouldn't give her a debit card, wouldn't give her keys, just kept her a prisoner basically. And her parents had went and got her and brought her back. And you know, in talking with her dad, he called me as a banker, and just we were talking over some options on how we could help and try to get her a car. They were going to try to buy her one. And this guy, we had just talked to him about trying to give the car away. And I called her and I called Amelia and I was like, hey, I think I know who we need to give the car to. And so just watching that whole story play out, God's provision where he provided us with the car really before we even needed it, knowing that this person was about to come into the picture. And, you know, we were able to get the part, get it fixed and get it to her within 2 weeks. You know, that's, it just kind of verified everything that we were talking about, everything that we thought we needed to be doing, just kind of solidified the whole thing, you know?
So when you get that first one out the way, now you have belief. Now is, you know, you're not really operating on the faith. It's like, oh, okay, well, I had faith to get to this point. Now I've seen it, I've done it. Now I believe, I know that we can continue to do this. We can continue to bless people. Dwayne talks about it all the time. He's like, man, God has been so faithful to us with the Rescue Me Project. Why not continue to believe?
Yeah.
Why not continue to, you know, want more, not for ourselves, but for the Rescue Me Project, for the people, the lives that we're changing, that we're touching. So, man, like I said, he provided that vehicle before you even knew who to give it to or what the reason was behind the vehicle. So, man, like I said, God always knows what he's doing. Always, man.
It also shows too that you all are good stewards of everything he put in your hands, and I think that's a good thing as well too.
Well, you know, God put on my heart a long time ago the story when he was talking to Abraham, and he said, "I have the cattle on 1,000 hills. What do you have to worry about?" And he's really stretched me more in that area. You know, what you have is mine. I'm going to give as much as you give. And so it's that old saying, you're never going to outgive God, right? So the more you give, the more he's going to give, so you can give more. And it's just like, how much am I willing to test that? You know, how much am I willing to stretch my faith? Like the point you made, how much am I willing to stretch to see if God's going to continue? And so I'm not testing God, but I'm trusting that as I give faithfully, that he's going to continue to give. He's going to continue to refill us where we can continue this ministry. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give sparingly, reap sparingly.
That's
Give
right.
bountiful, reap bountifully. What type of cars do you guys? Y'all ain't giving away no clunkers, are you?
No.
Giving cars away, so now they got to come back to see y'all so y'all can
right.
fix it. Y'all can charge them more money.
Making our own customer.
So what type of cars you give away?
We look for cars, really anything. We don't do a lot of trucks because they're a little harder on families. So we look for cars and SUVs.
Okay.
We want them to have decent exteriors, not beat up. You know, we want it to look good on the outside and inside. And we understand we're talking about 15-year-old cars, 10-year-old cars. So they're going to have some issues. But for the most part, we don't care the mechanical condition of the car. We just want them to look good. So we can take and get them cleaned up. We don't have to do any body work, paint, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And if the clear coat's coming off, fine. You know, we can deal with that. But we just don't want it to look bad, if
Gotcha.
that makes sense. Outside of that, anything. 4-door cars are always great because that's family cars. Small SUVs are great. We've done a couple like an Expedition, stuff like that, but those are a little tougher because they get worse gas mileage and they don't really help out families a lot.
Yeah.
So we really focus on the cars and the small SUVs. You know, we've done Jeep Liberties, we've done
Honda Accord.
Honda Accords.
Camry.
Yeah. Camrys are always good
Yeah,
because they're
Camrys
reliable.
and they're very reliable.
Yes.
And Hondas are too.
Yeah.
The Accords and Camrys. Yeah.
We've done a couple of small, like a Kia SUV,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Dodge
but-
Caliber.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, little smaller cars that get good gas
Yeah.
mileage because usually that's what you need.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's awesome. Man, and how long have you guys been doing this?
January of 23. That's when we started.
So y'all are fresh into this.
yeah.
So that means a lot of people don't even know what you're doing, right?
A lot of people have never even heard of TNA Automotive. I mean, or Lifted Spirits Garage.
Okay, so TNA Automotive, you bought it from somebody or you formed it?
Yeah. So it used to be T&K Automotive or Top Tech is the two names they went by. So we purchased it in January of 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell the people where they can reach where TNA Automotive is, and then tell the people how they can get in touch or how they can help, how they can sow, bless, give resources, anything like just to help the nonprofit Lifted Spirits Garage.
Absolutely. So TNA Automotive is at 705 Waverly Avenue. If you know where McDonald's is on Woodward Avenue in Muscle Shoals, we're a block and a half behind that on
Okay.
Waverly. And then As far as how to donate, so that's something we're working on right now. We're fresh out the gate when it comes to the nonprofit, so we haven't set up like PayPal or anything like that yet. So the only option we have is just to accept checks or donations at this time. And so we do have the ability to issue the donation letters back as a receipt. So we've got that set up. So they would just need to come see us at our shop on Waverly.
So TNA Automotive Waverly, if you guys are interested in like being a part of this, being able to help somebody get their car fixed, or a part of the big giveaways, and anything, any amount helps.
Absolutely.
I don't care if it's $20 a month, $10 a month, a one-time 50, like anything helps, because if you get enough people behind it, you get enough momentum, you can do some magical things.
Yes.
And
Let me put this out there too. I'm sure they could use help too. Like if you want to donate, if you're on a detail shop or anything like that, and you want to donate a cleanup or gas cards or resources and so on, like being a nonprofit world, you hear what they do. So there's so many different ways and different things that you can help. I'm sure to help them continue to thrive in what they're doing to help the community.
Yes, absolutely.
do you guys have anything on social media?
Oh, we do. Yeah, we're on Facebook with
Okay.
the Spirits
Okay.
Is. So if there's a need there, you can message us, or if you want to talk about the mission that we have, ask us questions. I mean, we're there. We're the ones monitoring the social media. We don't have a social media manager or anything. It's just us. And so they can message us on the TNA page or on Lifted Spirits Garage.
All right, you got TNA or Lifted Spirits Garage.
Yep.
All right, so how does your faith? We kind of talked about this, kind of hit this already, but I know, you've been a pastor and everything like that, so I know your faith has to play a role in it.
Oh, yeah.
So what role does your faith play in the work that you do? How does it influence you?
Yeah, I mean, it drives everything. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, you have to live out your faith every day. And if I woke up in the morning and said, hey, we can't spend the money on this car today because we're worried about making payroll at the end of the week, or hey, we're worried about making house payments or whatever. If I let those situations drive me every day, I would live in fear. And you can't do that. You got to live out your faith. You got to trust that God's going to provide for you because you're out doing his mission.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what I said earlier. God has all the resources that we could ever need. Do we trust him to give them to us? Do we trust him enough to show him that we trust him to go and do his work? And then just trust him and have faith in him that he's going to take care of us. And that's kind of how we live it out. I mean, it's hard, but it's simple. You wake up sometimes you wake up in the morning and it's just like, what have we got ourselves into?
Yeah.
But you look back and we gave away $30,000 in cars our first year in business. Like, who can do that?
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so, you look at this year and what we've already done. We've already given away 6 cars this year by the 1st of June.
Yeah.
And we're looking at giving away 10 more. So we're looking at 16 to 20 cars total that we're going to give away this year. Like,
Wow.
who would have ever thought it would have got to that level?
Yeah.
And so it's just that day to day, put one foot in front of the other, trust God to show you where you need to be today, take the step with him, and then he'll lead you down the path you need to be at.
Awesome. Got anything, Amelia?
I think for me, it is definitely the put one foot in front of the other and just take a step of faith every single day, and a lot of prayer because since I'm the one at the shop and we are very busy all the time, there's never a time where my technicians are just standing around.
Yeah.
And so, all the jobs that we do on these vehicles are big jobs. And so, it takes a lot to say, hey, we've got to put this motor in, or we've got to do this head job or this transmission job. And so, we have to edge out time for that technician to do that job. And so sometimes it's hard to plan a time for the technician to do that among the other jobs that are paying jobs,
Yeah.
And so sometimes it can be stressful, and so, but like you said, I just have to remember God is in control.
Yes.
And he has his hand on us all the time. And even in my stress, and I have another technician there and we're always talking about it. And he's like right along with me. He's like, we're doing this for a good cause.
Yeah.
And I know we are. And God is just blessing this car for somebody. And so it's good to know that God has already got it planned out, even if we don't know who this car is for.
Yeah.
And so I just have to remember that sometimes.
I mean, that's part of being human.
Stressful, So
That's part of being human.
I have a quick question real quick. So listening to you all talk, have you ever witnessed or seen that your employees adopt the same mentality or heart like you all have that maybe when they first started or so on? You seen a transition?
Yes, I have. I think at first, a couple of them were like not really understand. They're like, "Oh, what's up with this? Like, what's going on here?" And I can see, like, as it has gone on, and they have physically seen,
And been a part.
what's going on, and like seen and been a part of it. I think it's been exciting for them, and they've kind of seen like how it's benefited people, and like I'm like, hey, we got to get this camera in, like that's a giveaway, and we've got to fix this and that, and they they jump right on it, and they're excited to know. And like the day we did I'm just saying this because it just happened, but the day we did the seniors, they were pumped up, and like we would come back and they wanted to know how it went, and so they're excited
Yeah.
too. So
What I've noticed from just listening to you guys is that, like, even your employee, like the question you just asked, your employees now have a higher sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
You have given them another thing to operate in that they didn't even know they needed.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a job now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Right.
Yeah.
They have an opportunity to make somebody else's lives better.
yeah,
Even if you don't believe in the gospel, like even if you don't believe, even if you're not a believer, you can still make other people's lives better, but just by just doing, good things for other people.
yeah,
So they still get fulfillment, and that's amazing that you guys are able to, now, like, so you're giving them fulfillment. They feel a part of it. They're blessing people's lives. And then if they wasn't a believer, now it's like, this is how we operate.
yeah.
This is what we do.
Yep.
This is just how kingdom works. So now, hey, come on over here. Let me show you, let me really get you deep into this thing.
Right.
So it's an avenue, it's an open door, to, like you said, to share, what God has really called us to do here.
Yep.
And look, there's a big, I guess, shortfall in the church where we like to talk about the things, but we don't like to do the things,
Mhm.
right?
Let's go.
Mhm.
And so you get out and you actually live out the gospel in front of people.
Mhm.
What better message can you spread than actually living in it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm not bragging because
Oh, yeah.
we mess up all the time. Look,
Yeah.
we do.
Oh yeah.
We all do.
But like we make an effort,
Yeah.
Like I want to live it out. I
That's
want
a
people
given.
to know that I love Jesus. That
Right.
I'm here to serve just like he was.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And our employees see that.
Yeah.
To your point, like it's more now than just a job. They're bought in. Like
Mhm.
they're ready. When we do these giveaways, they're more excited about it than we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's just amazing to see that transformation as we've went forward, because it went from like doubt to now they're just excited about it every time we do it.
Wow.
Yeah. And see, like I said, that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
Man, that's powerful to be able to impact people's lives in multiple ways. So you're thinking, yeah, we're just gonna start blessing these people with these cars.
And you blessing them right there in the garage.
There you go. You see that? Like,
Yeah, right there in the garage.
I mean, you're not even doing it by like with an alternative motive. It's just you being who God has called you to be.
And being obedient to
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Following through on the instructions that God and the vision that God has given you guys has not only blessed the people that's getting the cars, but blessing the people that's answering the phone. It's blessing the people that's working on the cars and everybody in between.
Yep.
So that is amazing. That is powerful. So every now and then you do have to pat your own self on the back. I mean, come on now. Sometimes, now you may have to do it, behind closed doors where people ain't seeing you. But every now and then you have to pat yourself on your back sometimes, because a lot of people they may not give you them accolades, Not saying, that's why I said though, like, you're doing it for the right reasons. But trust me, we're human. It's like every now and then you do want somebody to appreciate what you're doing. I don't care what nobody says. Like, nobody wants to be this great person, this great human, and nobody ever says thank you.
Well,
Like, that's the
it's
bottom barrel.
it's
Like,
a-
just say thank you,
It's
at
just
least.
amazing to look back and see what God has done through us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go back and look, and it's like, man, you're doing this through us.
Mm-hmm.
You chose me.
Yeah,
You chose
like,
us.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought he'd ever have done this?
Right.
Through what we've got going on. you know?
Yeah. It's been plenty of times me and Dwayne look at each other and be like, bro, can you believe
Wow. We be like, wow.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, can you believe people, like, when we first got the building, and he was like, yeah, man, let's go ahead and check this building out. And I was like, okay, bet. And then we got in here. I was like, man, that's a lot of work.
Mhm.
And then we looked at each other, but it's free.
Yeah.
And
was
now
like, it's
look
free.
at it.
Right.
I mean, like,
The whole community, man, the
look at
whole
what you've
shows area
done.
Yeah,
is blessed.
Like,
It's
I'm
amazing.
telling
Yeah.
you. So we know, like you said, like, man, God is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, why
Yeah.
why did he choose us? You know, like, why us? You know,
Mhm.
oh well, we're
'Cause
gonna
he
keep
saw
doing it. So
He saw.
That's it. And like you said, and just like you all said, y'all just started this in 2023,
Mhm.
and all the vehicles that you've given away and fixed in that time frame already. That's
so imagine where it's going to be.
I'm telling you.
50 or 100 cars a year, because you're gonna
Oh,
so what's gonna happen, people are gonna
You give
no
him a heart
seriously,
attack.
what's gonna happen is you're gonna have funds where people are gonna start
Overflow.
donating to you
Overflow.
guys, and you're gonna have funds just set aside to be able to fix multiple cars or give away multiple cars, because of the fact that the word is gonna get out.
Yeah.
Your motive is pure, you know, and you're blessing the community, and people want to be a part of something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who you are. You always want to be a part of a team that is doing something that's going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So keep it up. Keep it up.
Absolutely.
What is the one thing you guys need from the community right now? If you had to say, hey, we need this one thing, what is that one thing you guys need from the community right now?
Donations,
Donations.
and that could be cars, it could be money. And
Okay.
I'll go into this just a second, just so people know where our motives are and how we're doing this. So basically, all we're asking for on the Lifted Spirit side is that Lifted Spirits can cover our mechanics' labor to do the repairs. We're going to take care of everything else. We're going to take care of the parts and all that. We just want Lifted Spirits and the donations there to cover our guys' time in the shop. It just alleviates a little bit of the burden for us as far as, you know, having to cover the labor for them as well as the parts on the cars. So if we can get it to the point that we can do just the labor and not what we would charge the public, this is just our mechanics labor, where
Okay.
the shop's not making anything out of it at all. And so we just need to cover their time basically, and that's what we're looking for. Now, hopefully, eventually, it'll get to where Lifted Spirits can cover the parts as well and kind of self-sustain itself. Because I think the end goal is what you alluded to, is that we would have a completely separate shop, and we would potentially either have a mechanic there dedicated to working on giveaway cars, or form a cooperative with other shops in the area where we would all donate time during the week, or, you know, per car, however we want to do it, to where we can get together and kind of collaborate that, and just we would have the shop through Lifted Spirits, and we would all just donate labor.
Gotcha.
And so that's the long-term goal. But for now, just for us, if we could just get a little bit of help covering the labor for us, because we do work these in right now in between the paying customers that we have,
Okay.
and we are happy to do that. But at the same time, we've had people come up and say, like, we love your mission, we love what you're doing, we want to help. How can we? Well, this is it. I mean, we either need cars or we need a little bit of money to operate on. And so we've actually had someone donate a car to us, and we're in the process of working on it, but they wanted us to sell it and use the money from the car to fund Lifted Spirits, which we can do as well. And so if there's something like that they tell us, hey, I want you to take this and I want you to fix it and sell it and use the money through Lifted Spirits, we can make that happen.
Okay.
And so we can do it either way.
I like that. I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea as well.
Yeah.
Do you know of any other nonprofit like in the U.S. that is doing this?
In my research, I haven't found one
Okay.
that just does autos. I found a lot of them where you can donate cars and they'll give them to, or sell them,
Yeah,
to use it for, but not what we're doing.
Okay.
Again, I've looked around as much as I can to try to find how did they set it up.
Model, yeah.
Yeah, some kind of model, but I couldn't find anything.
Okay, so that's super unique. But it may be something out there. Someone has probably done it before, or is doing it. So yeah, if you can reach out to them, man, they can pretty much,
yeah.
almost put you, years ahead of the game.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is still amazing. You guys are giving cars away, fixing cars for free.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you guys ever like consider going to like a body shop that has cars that are sitting there that they don't give a, that they're just like junkers? Well, I wouldn't say junkers, but they're just not running for whatever reason, or the people just left them there. Do you guys talk to those body shops?
So we have a couple of guys who do repos,
Mm-hmm.
and so we've worked with them on the cars that they have that they've been able to take possession of, and that's where we bought some of the cars from. But again, donations are huge. So if there's people listening and you've got a towing company, you've got an auto repair shop, and you've got cars there that you've got titles for, one of the challenges is Alabama changed the title system this year, and it's extended out our ability to get titles on the cars that are just left with us.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from a 30-day turnaround to about 6 months, which is one of the issues this year that we're having now is on inventory. So we've started building up inventory for Christmas at this point. So we needed to get ahead of the game, and I saw that coming. So we went ahead and tried to start collecting a few cars for Christmas.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they changed it. What was the logic behind them changing that law?
Oh gosh.
It was supposed to be more efficient, but with anything with the
It's
government,
not.
it just is what it is. So.
Yeah, from three what? You said 3 weeks or 3 months to 6 months?
30 days.
From
to
30
6 months.
days to 6 months. Yeah, that sounds real efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just upgraded. All right.
And there's no real definition around. And if somebody's listening who works there, would love to talk to you about this. But there's no real definition on what you're supposed to send, and so there's no clear cut defined process anymore. So you send something in, they reject it, they don't tell you why. Now you're left just looking at it, trying to figure out what it is. And we've got friends who are in that business, and auto business and sales, and they've been trying to help us, and they're just as lost in it as we are.
Yeah. So it seems like that every business, every organization, they run into challenges.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So what's one of the main challenges you guys face in running both the shop and the nonprofit?
I'll let you speak to that.
Well, I think it's just the balance of it. I think I said something about that earlier. It's the balance of trying to get the cars together, of course, trying to find the cars. And like he said, we do have a surplus, not a surplus, but we have been trying to gather cars for the Christmas giveaway now. And then, of course, trying to get them all done. And sometimes you do run into hiccups as you're fixing them too. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
We buy a motor for one, the motor might not be good, or something might happen, and so it is a balance to schedule them out, especially when the shop is really busy, and so that is probably the biggest thing. Also, it's very difficult to. I'm glad that we have a board that decides, especially like the repairs that we do, because it is difficult to decide who gets to, because that's a very, I would just want to do everything. And, you can't run a business that way, so
Like last
hard.
Christmas, we had 80 roughly.
Yeah.
that were
Well, you
sent in,
can't give
and it's
away
like,
80 cars,
How do you choose
so it's very hard.
from those 80?
Yeah.
And like tell this person no, but this person yes. And so that's why we got our board together, and they chose, and they struggled with it. I mean, it took them 3 days to narrow it down for us. And but that's a big challenge on my side, just looking in, because I work outside the shop. Looking in for her, it's the balance of wanting to help somebody versus wanting to operate the business, and how do we balance out what we do for free versus what we continue to do for our customers? Because on one hand, you've got customers that bring their car to us to get fixed, and you don't want to put them off to do something for free. But at the same time, you feel obligated to help somebody that needs it. And so it's kind of a balance, like she said.
Wow.
So what about with the, I guess that does speak to both of them, because you got the fact that you're working at your shop trying to fix cars, and then you also got the Lifted Spirits, and you're trying to fix their cars as well. So you got, like you said, the balance of fixing the cars that from a paying customer, and then from the customer that's being blessed.
Yep.
So that does make a lot of sense. So are there any other challenges you guys have faced as far as Lifted Spirits or with automotive?
I mean, staffing.
That
would be the other big one, is finding quality mechanics who want to buy into the vision that we've got and be a part of our team, because we are a team and we're a family. That we treat everybody like that. We don't have that hard, driving personality in the shop there that just, cracking the whip or anything. So, but just finding those people that are educated, who know what they're doing, who want to be a part of a team like that, and have some fun too. I mean, we have a lot of fun around the shop. Amelia brings in food all the time for them, and lunch at least once a week normally. We're feeding them something. So, but the staffing has been a real issue. The skilled labor in general is something that, there's a huge void right now in that industry. And it's the same for us. I mean, there's just a huge shortage right now of skilled mechanics, and the ones that are there, we're just we're trying not to steal each other's people, basically, hoping somebody's going to move in from out of town and need a job. That's really where we're at.
Yeah.
So, but that's been a big challenge, is trying to keep quality people when you get them.
Now, what made you guys? I don't know if we answered this question or not, but what made you guys go into automotive repair? Of all the different things you could do.
I'm gonna say God. That's the good answer. But no, so I love cars. I've worked on them all my life.
Okay.
I've worked on old cars, and her dad actually owned a drag strip at one point. Had racing cars, drag cars, and so we've been around cars on both sides. I love working on cars. I just don't have time anymore. And so the owner actually called me at the bank and said, "Hey, do you have any customers that might want to buy this?" Well, at the time, our kids were just almost in school, our last 2 kids. And so we were like, we've been talking about Amelia doing something other than just being a mom at that point, because she'd done that for 13 years. And I knew she was like frazzled. So get out of the house and have some adult stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so we had been talking about finding a business to buy or something for her to do. And he called and I just said, "Hey, this is an opportunity." And it worked out.
Gotcha.
And we'd actually been his customer, so we've known this shop forever. I've been his customer for 10 years before this, so
Wow.
I've got an intimate knowledge of the shop. I know how they do business, and so we were just excited to have the opportunity to look at it, much less actually make it work.
Now though, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like a car will drive by and it's ticking. And I'm like, oh, I think they have a collapse lifter. And I'm like, who am I?
Wow. She diagnosed.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
knowledgeable.
like,
That's what you are.
Like we'll be at Walmart,
Yeah.
somebody will drive by in the parking lot, and she's like, "You hear that? I think they got a sensor going out or
Wow.
something."
I need to get my brakes fixed. Don't
Hey, I'm
I'm
sitting there thinking too, man. I
I'm
might need to wait and pull out
You're
when
right.
they leave.
Look, and you mentioned a challenge earlier. Getting my own car fixed is a challenge. 'Cause I got squeaking brakes right now, and I can't even get my truck in because we're so busy.
I did fix your blower motor resistor.
She did get my air
yesterday,
conditioner
so
fixed yesterday, so I can't.
I really do need to get some brakes done for real.
I can hook you up.
Okay, now that I'm gonna hit you up because my brakes be screeching. My car is a 2012 model, and I've never had a brake job done.
It's all gonna need rotors
Oh
now.
my God, you
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
need some
yeah.
rotors for sure.
It's gonna need some
Maybe
serious
a
work.
brake caliper.
I'm just telling you, I'm gonna need some work done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta buy some tires. See, my car is the car that's local. We put my wife's car on the road, so I had to make sure her stuff is always up to par. But my tires about to be worn down to the wire.
Oh yeah.
My brakes is probably matching that.
Yeah, probably so.
But, is there anything else you guys want to share? Because we didn't knock this thing pretty much out. Anything else you guys want to share? Any stories? If not, you could tell the people one more time where they can reach you at, and then we can close it out.
You can come by the shop anytime at 705 Waverly Avenue, or you can give us a call at 256-381-7250. And we would be more than happy to take any kind of donations or answer any questions. And you can also reach us at Facebook, TNA Automotive. It's T spelled out and A, or Lifted Spirits Garage.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, that's another episode of the Elevated Chat Room. Elevate your mind, elevate your life. I would like for you guys to please like, share, comment, reach out to the guests tonight. They are doing a powerful thing here in the community. Let's get behind them and push them to their purpose. And God bless. We out.